Hello, everybody. I just watched the most fantastic Instagram video on training. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and we will get started.
Hey everyone, I am super excited to come today. If you did not guess, I am passionate about Instagram. I love Instagram. I've been on there since 2015, and that is pretty much how I have grown my Plexus business. So I didn't count. I wanted to count, but I'm guessing I've signed maybe like 250 personally sponsored people, and probably 90% of those would be strangers, and they would be from Instagram. So this is pretty much where my business comes from. So there is no way that I'm going to be able to answer all the questions. I really appreciate. I was just scrolling through the questions again. I just don't have time to go through all the questions, but I will say, if you go to YouTube or you Google, guys, I still do this, okay? When Instagram puts out a new, like, how to do such and such, I will still Google how to do it because I'm still learning too, okay? So if I do not answer a question today, I would encourage you. This morning I was even looking up like more Instagram trainings on YouTube because I'm always trying to stretch myself and learn and grow. So that's what I would encourage. Go to YouTube, go to Google, amazing resources. You're going to find awesome information. So that being said, this is what I thought I would share today. Number one, I thought I would share just 3 tips for Instagram in general, and then I would describe my process for how to go from this is a stranger on Instagram to they are now my ambassador, they are now going silver, whatever. And then I thought I would share the process of my level 2, who actually started, I'm trying to think, I was talking to her last night. Her name is Heather. And she started her Instagram from 0 like 5 months ago. She now has over 6,000 followers, and she signed 14 people last month, and she's already signed 2 this month, okay? So I'm going to share what I do, and then I'm going to share what she does because it's slightly different, but they both really work. Okay, so well, that being said, the first thing I wanted to talk about was this whole idea of like picture perfect. And I wanted to give you the I don't know. I just want to encourage you guys that your Instagram does not have to be picture perfect, okay? It is not all about your feed looking like a magazine or something, because it is so much more than that. And here is a practical example, okay? I don't have a great phone, but when I first started my Instagram, you guys, my phone was awful. It was awful, and I started my Instagram doing a furniture business. That's how it even came about, okay? Which means that I was posting pictures from my garage, which is unfinished and looks horrible, dark, unedited photos in my garage of before and after pictures of furniture, okay? That is how my Instagram started, and people followed me because of that. Now, as I got into it, I got a little bit better, and I downloaded, an editing app and all of that. But you guys, that is how I started. And the other thing is, I don't know if any of you remember the app called Periscope, but that is how I started doing live videos. And again, with my phone, you guys, my phone was so bad and so glitchy that when I started my live video, it would not turn around to see my face for 2 minutes. So for the first 2 minutes of every single live video that I did on Periscope, it was like facing my wall while I was talking. And pretty fast, I had 600 people that would jump on to this Periscope to watch my lives while they could not even see my face, okay? Because my phone was so bad. What is my point? My point is nothing should hold you back. Nothing should hold you back. The most important thing, guys, is that you are adding value to others. What I did in my Periscopes was mostly like motherhood tips and how to keep your house clean, which I don't really talk about anymore. But I was giving people something that they could walk away with, okay? That is what is important. Not that your photo is white with whatever, looks perfect, okay? The most important thing is that you are giving to others. Give, okay? I just started this book called Go Giver. It's amazing, okay? That all being said, I don't want to make this too long. So my 3 tips for Instagram. You guys ready? Number 1, you have to figure out who you are outside of Plexus. Do not create an Instagram account that is surrounded and like overwhelmed with Plexus. Do not build an Instagram account that is based off Plexus. Create an Instagram account that is based off something that has nothing to do with Plexus, okay? When someone goes to your Instagram feed, I think, now some people might disagree with me on this, I think that they should not even be able to tell that you sell anything. That you should not, like, they should have no idea. Someone wrote to me recently and was like, hey, I saw one of your pink drink pictures on your feed, and that's how I figured out that you sold Plexus. And I'm going to talk about how I do testimonies and all that, because I do post testimonies, which are pretty obvious that I'm probably selling something, but no link, no graphics. You guys, they have to be attracted to your feed for who you are, and they should not be able to tell you're selling something. That's my opinion. Okay. So trying to think here. Who you are can change. Okay. Like I said, when I first started, I was just doing before and after pictures of painting furniture. Okay. So who am I now? Okay. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 5 little kids. I honestly do not leave the house. Okay. I do not do very interesting things, like, so to speak. Okay. But I built this Instagram based on, I talk about motivation. I do funny things, like funny things about kids, funny memes, whatever. So like funny things, motivation. I'm super honest and vulnerable, which I'm going to talk about that later. I'm trying to think. What else do I talk about? I do pictures of my house because that's how I started. I started off like getting into the whole like home decor thing because of the furniture business. That's it. One thing led to another. Health and motherhood. Okay, so let's say 5 things. 5 things, and only one of them should be Plexus. Okay, which means that all these other posts are adding value in these categories. On this subject, I wanted to say something else. You are not just posting like your daily schedule. Okay, don't just get up in the morning and be like, hey, I made eggs. Here are the eggs. And then at 10 a.m., you're like, I am taking my kids to the park. Here are my smiling children at the park. Because here's the thing, guys. These are strangers. They do not know who you are most of the time, okay? They need something besides just pictures of your kids. So for example, like if I do a picture of one of my kids, I will say something that might have to do with one of my kids, but it's going to tell a story, or it is going to add value in every single picture, in every single post, okay? I was gonna mention this later, but I'm just gonna say it now. When you open your Instagram app, I want the word intentional to be everywhere in your mind. Intentional, intentional, intentional. You do not just throw up a post because it's 3 p.m. and you think you should throw up a post. Everything you do on your Instagram should have a purpose. Even if it's something funny and you want like people to, like sometimes I'll put up something funny and that is when people tag people, right? It's because they think it's funny so they want to tag their friends. But what I'm saying is everything you post should have a purpose. Okay, so figure out who you are. And just realize, like I said, I don't feel like my life is super interesting, but it doesn't mean that I can't add value to others. It doesn't mean that I can't give to other people, okay? So just because I'm like just a stay-at-home mom or whatever does not mean that I can be learning and growing and taking people along with me. That's number 1. Figure out who you are and create your brand and outside of Plexus, okay? Okay, number 2, guys, is stories, stories, stories. So someone asked about live videos. I'll just tell you my stats, okay? So if I put up a post, my average, maybe I'll get like on a really, really good post, I'll get over 500 likes. But typically I'm getting like 150 to 300 likes on my Facebook, not Facebook, on my Instagram post, okay? If I do a live video, I'll get maybe 400, okay? If I do a story, sometimes I will get 2,000. So I actually did a poll in my stories and I said, would you rather watch a live or a story? And it was like 91% to 9%. People want to watch your stories, okay? And when people say to me, Trisha, how in the world do you sign strangers? How do you get someone from, hey, I followed you yesterday? And I actually get this, guys. I actually get messages from people saying, I followed you yesterday. I've been really like sucked into your feed. Tell me more about these supplements that you talk about, okay? I think that stories is it. I think stories is it. And I was talking to my level 1. Some of you maybe know her. Her name is Marianne Anderson. She is like top enroller. She is crazy. She also started her Instagram from 0, like 6 months ago, guys, and she has like 22,000 followers. From day 1, she was on her stories, okay? Now, let me give you her secret. I was talking to her yesterday too, about stories, okay? And that is this. Very, very simple, guys. Turn the camera around. Turn the camera around. They want to see your face. They want to see you. They want to get in on your life, and they want to learn something. They want value added to them, okay? So again, when you're doing your stories, like occasionally I'll put up like a quote in my stories, or I'll put up like yesterday I did my 3 girls getting ready for church, okay? And I'm going to talk about that too in a second. Okay, but most of the time, my goal is to do one set of stories every single day that adds value. So yesterday I did what I learned, or what we were able to learn as a family from a game of bingo, okay? The other important thing about stories is do not make them too long, okay? People's attention spans are so very short. You want someone to always want to check your feed and your stories when they jump on Instagram, okay? Which means that they probably don't have 10 minutes or even 5 minutes or sometimes even 3 minutes to watch what you have to say, but they want to watch you. So, like, I don't make mine more than, I don't know, they're in 10-second videos. Stories are, I think. So I do like 4, 5, 6 at the most. At the most. We're looking at 1.5 minutes, okay? That's number one. Turn the camera around. They need to see you. They need to see you sharing from your heart, being vulnerable, adding value, giving tips, okay? What else was I going to say? They have to feel like they know you. That's the important thing. They have to feel like they know you, which means they have to trust you, which means they have to feel connected to you. And if you every single day are going on your stories and you are sharing something about your day, sharing something that is adding value, that trust will happen so fast, so much faster. Okay, so stories are so, so, so important. And both my level 1, who's Marianne, who I described, okay, she went Ruby this month in like 5 or 6 months, which is crazy. And then my level 2, and I'm going to talk about her at the end, both do crazy amounts of stories, okay? But your stories can be different depending on who you are. So like I will talk about motherhood or motivation or positivity or something. Heather loves cooking. She could post every single day about what she's cooking for dinner. People love that. And she does a story every single day, not just on the pan, guys, not just on what's in the pan. Very, very, very important. It is her face showing you what she is doing, and then maybe she'll turn her camera around and show you what's actually going on in the pan. But the important thing is that you see her face, because that way you are connected to her. Got it? Okay. You can see, guys, I'm really passionate about this. I'm sorry. Okay, and then obviously like being super intentional, right? Here's another thing, guys. Here's another thing. And it was the same idea with like posting your kids at the park. Because there are like so many strangers that might be watching you, it is very important. Now I'm forgetting what I'm going to say. Yeah, very important, but I don't remember what I was going to say. Very important, guys, that you don't be boring, okay? And I hope I don't offend anyone with saying that, but guys, so many people are so boring. And you have to realize that it's not like the grandmother who's going to be watching your kid's baseball game or something, okay? These are strangers, and you are bringing them in to connect with them and to give to them. Not just, hey, I happen to be on my phone, I should probably record something for the general public who probably isn't even going to watch it, okay? So really, really, really think about that, and then keep things short. Keep things short. Keep things intentional and keep them short when you're on stories. Okay, number 3, okay, and this is called behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. And that would be, you have to be engaging and connecting behind the scenes, okay? This is, if stories are the way that people start connecting to you and start trusting you, these messages behind the scenes are how the connection and the trust build and grow, okay? So, I don't know if I should start talking about my process yet or in a minute. A lot of people ask how I grew my network. Guys, a lot of you probably realize that I had nothing to do with Plexus on my Instagram. I was growing my Instagram just because I loved Instagram. I worked it like a business. I worked 2 to 3 hours a day on my Instagram. And guys, I networked like a crazy person. And that means I was not on my feed. I was in my messenger messaging people. And I had no interest in Plexus, right? Plexus was not me. I was connecting with people just to build relationships and to connect with them, okay? But so many of those connections are so important. So how I build my Instagram, I do a lot of giveaways. Because I started off in the home decor community, a lot of those people still come to me and want to do giveaways with me. So Anyway, that's what I do. I'm not really sure like how you would go about it. I know that Heather, who's my level 2, she was never in home decor stuff. So she does like follow loops and things like that. And I don't know much about that. I'll just tell you, I do like home decor giveaways because that's what I am used to, okay? Now, if you don't have a lot of new followers coming in, what I would suggest doing are things called commenting blitzes and messaging blitzes. And I still do this too, okay? This is what I suggest to my team. You guys are asking like, does this duplicate down to my team? 100%. Because here's why. Here's why social media and Instagram is so important. Because like me, probably like so many of you, we used up our warm market like this, okay? I joined Plexus and I messaged everybody I knew. I messaged like almost every single one of my Facebook friends. And then it was over. Okay? So you have to always be growing your network, and my warm market was gone. And then what do I do, right? Okay, commenting and messaging blitzes. So a couple ideas. So you create a brand, right? Who are you? Okay, who are you? You're gonna find other people on Instagram who have a similar brand to you, okay? Then I would go through their followers and I would find people that are, I'm sorry guys, I'm reading the comments and I'm getting distracted, who are similar to you, who have a similar brand. Find bigger accounts who are like you, okay? Then go through their followers and find people that you would be genuine friends with, follow them, and then either comment on their feed and be super genuine, guys. You are creating relationships and you are building friendships. You are not bringing up Plexus. Plexus is not part of this, okay? That's the first thing I would do. I kind of equate it to like mutual friends on Facebook. That's kind of the way it is on Instagram. Mutual friends on Instagram, sort of, ish, okay? The second thing I do, and I actually set my timer and I teach my team to do the same. No scrolling allowed, guys, okay? You might think this sounds so time consuming, but if you totally stop scrolling, you will have enormous amounts of time. So what I will do, yesterday, I set my timer. This might blow your mind, guys. I set my timer for 6 minutes. People tell me they don't have time to do the business, okay? I set my timer for 6 minutes. I messaged 16 people, guys, 16 brand new people. And I introduced myself. I don't even remember where I found the people. Sometimes I find people through hashtags, so I was gonna share about that too, okay? So a couple days ago, I typed in hashtag Magnolia Market because that's part of who I am. I've gone to Magnolia Market. I love Magnolia Market. I use the hashtag Magnolia Market, right? So you're gonna do that for the hashtags and the brand that you love and that you're a part of, okay? So I went through hashtag Magnolia Market, and again, you find people that you would be genuine friends with, you follow them, and then you comment or you message. And when you message, I would start off with always use their name. Always use their name. I just found you because we both love Magnolia Market or whatever. Back when I was putting up my Valentine's Day decor, I went to hashtag Target Dollar section and I messaged so many people who had Valentine's Day decor from the Target Dollar section. And I said, hey, it looks like we put up the same decor from the Target Dollar section. I love that spot, blah, 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 blah. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Trisha. I've got 5 kids. I'd love to know more about you, okay? I will do hashtag homeschool mommy. I will find other moms that have like 4 or 5 kids. I will write to them and I'll say, you know what? I hardly ever find other moms that have 5 kids. How old are your kiddos? 2 lines, super short, okay? But it is a genuine message and a genuine connection, okay? So there's that. That is called behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. It is so important. All these connections are so important. So I wanted to share something just so you can see how important these connections are, okay? So many people that I send those connection messages to, if you're curious, do not respond, okay? Some people do. Lots of people do. Way higher percentage than if you were to mention Plexus, right? Way, way, way higher percentage. But still, I get ignored a lot. A lot of people do not respond. But every 3rd post on my Instagram, I post a Plexus testimony, 3rd or 4th, okay? Every 3rd or 4th post on my Instagram, I do a Plexus testimony. The people who comment, asking for more information, and the people who message me saying, hey, I keep reading your testimonies, what is up with this stuff, are almost 50% the same people I sent a connection message to, okay? It's because they feel connected to you. You've already introduced yourself, right? Are you getting the idea? Okay. So now I wanted to share, I'm sorry this is going so long, guys. Now I wanted to share my process, and then I was going to share Heather's process because it's slightly different, but they both work. Okay, Heather's my level 2 for those who missed the beginning. But we both signed strangers. Okay, she also had a teeny tiny network, teeny tiny warm market. Okay, but that should never, ever hold you back. Never hold you back, okay? So here's my process, okay? Most people come to me. Nobody goes to Heather. So that's why I'm going to share what I do and what Heather does, okay? So here's my process. Like I said, I try to add value. I do my stories, and then every third post, I do a Plexus testimony, okay? Sometimes they flop. Sometimes I get like almost no engagement, no comments, no messages. It doesn't happen often, but it happens sometimes. Within 24 hours, I will take that post down, okay? And then I will just continue with my normal posting. And then my third post again, I will put up a new Plexus testimony. And usually there are a few really, really good ones that get tons of engagement per week. And that is how I sign my people, okay? So someone's going to comment and they're going to say, hey, Trisha, what are these supplements? I'm going to comment, I'm going to reply back right there, and I'm going to say, sending you a message. Then I'm going to click on their name. I'm going to send them a message. I have a copy paste, okay? And first of all, you use their name and you thank them. So, hey, Sarah, thank you so much for reaching out. So these supplements that I talk about all the time, they focus on core health, balancing blood sugar and hormones, whatever. Okay, guys, it's like one line, okay? And then I send them a picture of the Fab Four, and that's it. Okay, and I end it with, how does this sound? Do you mind sharing your health goals? That is it. It's literally like this long, okay? And the funny thing is, Marianne, I just asked her what she sends. She sends something that's even shorter. She sends, hey friend, this is the scoop on the triplex that my friend is using. And then she sends a triplex video, and she sends the same graphic that I send. And then she says, do you mind sharing your health goals for the year? Okay? Yes, I only take down the ones that don't have a lot of engagement. Well, that's not completely true. Even if they got a lot of engagement, like I said, I want my feed to be so that people don't right away get the feeling that I'm selling something. So that's why I take posts down, okay? If it gets tons and tons and tons of engagement, I'll leave it up for maybe a month or something. But I have to be really careful because I do not want my feed just like tons of before and afters and tons of testimonies. I just don't like the look of that. So anyway, that's my personal preference. But anyway, so the person is going to reply to me, and they're going to say, hey, that sounds good. Here are my health goals. And I'm going to read through them a few times so I really grasp what the person's saying. And then I'm going to say, wow, I'm so sorry. That sounds really hard. I definitely know other people that have dealt with headaches, or like my friend at IBS, and she started these products a year ago and she is doing so much better. And then I'm either going to send, if I haven't already sent the triplex video, I will send the triplex video, especially if they mention like gut health. And then I will say, hey, quick question. Are you also on Facebook? My name is Trisha Reger. They will say, yes, I am. Some people aren't. If they're not, I get people on the phone, or I get their text information, or I screenshot things and I send it to them. Like the 3 things that the triplex can help with described, I'll screenshot it and I will send it to them. Okay, because some people are only on Instagram, and that's okay. That's okay. Okay, let's say they are on Facebook. Lots of people are on Facebook. If they are on Facebook, you want them on Facebook as fast as possible, because then you can send voice messages. And I have a testimony and information group that I actually started 2 years ago. And I get them in there. So they're going to friend me on Facebook. I am going to see their friend request. I'm going to immediately send them a message. I'm going to use their name again and thank them again. Hey, Sarah, thank you so much for friending me over here. And then I'm going to add them to my information and testimony group, and I'm going to send them 2 voice messages, or 1 voice message. It's going to be super short. It's going to be just explaining what I'm doing. Hey, I just added you to this group. There's a search bar. Plus, I just tagged you in some great information on the triplex, which is how I recommend that everyone starts off. I know that you mentioned migraines, so I also tagged you in a few testimonies on migraines. I hope this helps. Let me know what you think, okay? 24 hours later, they haven't responded. I'm going to shoot them a follow-up message, and I'm going to say, hey, girl, what did you think so far? Do you have any thoughts? Whatever, okay? But let's say they're just on Instagram. If it is one of these like really, really fast signups, which I still do. I do some really, really fast signups. People that I have no idea who they are sign up. So then it'll just go to, yes, I'm interested. How much does it cost? I go into the cost, and then they say, sure, this sounds good. And I'm like, sweet, were you thinking of ordering today? They'll say yes. I'll send them my link. I'll send them how to sign up. And then I'll say, let me know as soon as you're done. And I will send you tips and instructions on getting started with the products. And then they will sign up. And then I will send them my first message of 4 messages that I send them after that. Okay? Which is what Emily Gibson does basically. So that's that, okay? But like I said, most people come to me. Like almost everybody comes to me. Almost everyone comes to me, okay? It does not mean that I don't spend huge amounts of time in follow-up, okay? Obviously, I follow up, right? But most people do come to me, okay? Now I'm going to share what Heather does. So Heather basically does the same thing. Her brand is totally different from mine. Totally different, okay? Customer or ambassador, it depends on the person. I kind of get a feel for who they are, and that is kind of how I recommend customer or ambassador. If they are not willing to commit to 3 months, which I like, if they say to me that they only want it for 1 month, then I convince them that they don't just want it for 1 month. I convince them that they want it long term. If they want it long term, and then we also talk about getting their products paid for, that is all in our initial first conversations. Yeah, then they sign ambassador. Okay, now I'm going to describe what Heather does. Okay, so no one comes to Heather. Okay, so people come to me, no one comes to Heather. And yet, she still signed 14 people last month, and she's already signed 2 people this month. So this is what she does, okay? I was going to tell you about her brand. Okay, so she is a young stay-at-home mom. She has 2 little kids, and I remember talking to her when she first started out, and she was like, what am I? Like I'm just a stay-at-home mom. Before that, she was a teacher. She just has these 2 little kids. And I said, what can you bring to the table? So she started talking about being a toddler mom. She started talking about like snack times. And then her big thing is cooking. She loves cooking healthy food. So I'm like, well then, you know what? You have an entire audience that I can never, ever reach. So just do the best you can, like you're going to be amazing. You just do your thing. Okay. And she has done amazing. So she started her Instagram after she became an ambassador from 0. And now I think she has like 62,000, no, not 62,000, 6,200 followers. So again, guys, she does the same thing like every 3rd or 4th post. She will put up a Plexus testimony as well. And people don't really comment and people don't really message. But what she does is she messages every single person who follows her, which is a lot of people, right? She does, like I said, a lot of like the follow mom things, and she's like gets in mom groups and they follow each other and stuff. So she does that. So she messages all of her new followers, and I'm pretty sure she doesn't mention Plexus. But number 2, she messages every single person, and she will get like 120 likes sometimes, guys. She will send out so many messages on Instagram that they will like ban her for 24 hours because she is so crazy with her messaging. So if someone likes her Plexus testimony, let me use the example of migraines again, okay? She does a Plexus testimony about a girl who used to have head discomfort, right? Whatever, throbbing head discomfort. Okay. She gets 120 likes. Okay, now some people she's probably messaged before, so she wouldn't message them again, but let's say even 50% of them she's never messaged. She will message them, and then she will say, hey, I wanted to thank you for the support on my most recent Plexus post. These products have helped, I started these products 6 months ago. I was a super tired mom. I dealt with this and this and this. And one of them was headaches. For her, she did have headaches. And then she would say, like, if I sent you, okay, so guys, I told her that I was not going to give out her Instagram name. I'm sorry. But anyway, so then, now I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. She will message them and say, if I sent you some scoop on these supplements that I take and love, would you be open? Don't you love this wording? Would you be open to looking it over? I can't imagine how many no's she gets. I can't imagine how many ignores she gets. I mean, that's hard, right? To send that many messages. But she signed 14 people. She signed 14. I asked her how many were strangers, and she said 13 of them were. So she signed 13 total strangers using this method. Okay, just messaging and messaging and messaging. And that is her line. Her line is, if I sent you more scoop on the supplements that I've been taking and loving, would you be open to looking it over? If I would you? Yes, I love that too. Okay. So anyway, I hope that's helpful, guys. I'm sorry I can't answer more questions, but that's all from me, and have a great day, guys. Bye.
So I just got done